The Uganda we want. So mu Uganda gye twagala mu lutalo luno olw'okulwanyisa obulabbayo obukenuzi nze kyempita obuvundu munna Uganda alina okuba nga yeenyigiramu.
Ffenna twenyigire mu lutalo.
Ate abalala tebasomye kuzimba wabula bayize okuzimba.
Uganda gye twagala okulaba ng'enguudo zonna nkole nungi, public transport nga weeri.
Kati eno gavumenti eriwo erina akabonero ka Lucifer. Buli kyotunulako mu Uganda kiriko oxygen. Either babika amawulire malungi oba mawulire mabi. Minisita teyeetaagisa kabangali budde buno zaaki.
At this time, why should somebody import furniture from outside Uganda? Let us leave NRM to be in charge for another 36 years or more.
I really want to see a Uganda that believes in the rule of law. If you have a constitution in place, follow it to the letter. Don't change laws just because you want them to favor you.
Kuba njagala omanye nti obugagga bwonna Uganda bwe yeeyagaliramu buyita waffe ku ttaka lyaffe. Naye busoga mugidibaze.
How can a referral hospital refer you to a private clinic? The Uganda we want buli muntu ateekwa okumanya nti I am a stakeholder, nkwatibwako si kwesuulirayo gwa naggamba.
Uganda oyinza okukakana nga mwe mulina bagraduates aba university nga bangi okusinga ebungereza. Mwe mufokasinga nnyo ku degree. Eri bo bafokasinga nnyo nti byensomye mbijjeemu omulimu n'enkola.
We are dreaming of a Uganda where at a young age there is such a relationship between parent and son, parent and daughter, where the daughter can say this is what I want.
Uganda gye twagala empya tesobola kubeerawo nga tewali mateeka. Amateeka agakola.
The Uganda we want. Welcome to the program, The Uganda We Want. This is episode 2 with Apostle Charles Tumwine'S. He's here with us. He's sharing the kind of Uganda that he envisions. Abatulaba ku Dream TV, abatulaba ku Doxa TV, namwe abatugoberera ku Impact FM, Radio Rasta Mayinja, eno ye Uganda gye twagala ye program gy'oli mu kulaba era gy'oli mu kuwuliriza. Tuli wamu n'omutume Charles Tumwine'S. Nono nga ye team leader oba y'omu ku bakulembeze ab'oku ntiko ab'obuweereza obuli ebuwaate naye nga buli international butalaze eggwanga lyonna oba New Life Harvest Church International. Tuli wamu naye wano mu program eyasooka ebigambo yabyogera mu Lunyaanyimbe naye ebikulu ebivaamu bye nsobola okubaako bye nkutegeeza yatugamba nti bwe tubanga tutunuulira ennonda yaffe mu ggwanga erya Uganda walina okubeerawo bye tukyusaamu waliwo ebirina okukyuka tusobole okuba nga tubeera omumuli nga Uganda mu byokulonda ogwa demokrasiya. Bwe tuna tetubikyusizza nedda ogw'omumuli gwazikira dda naye ng'agamba kikyasobokera ddala omumuli okwaka ogwa demokrasiya mu byokulonda. And I want you to join me again. We welcome him. Apostle, we are so glad to have you once again.
It's my pleasure.
Yes.
Yes.
Just for the purposes of those who have just tuned in and like, who is this talking to us? Could you just greet them and introduce briefly yourself?
Hello, my name is Charles Tumwine'S, the founder and team leader of New Life Harvest Churches, actually. We are based in Kampala, but we are all over and even other countries by the grace of the Lord. Also the PRO of the Born Again Faith in Uganda, which is a privilege to serve the local community, the church where I'm the team leader, but also to serve a wider constituency, which is the body of Christ in Uganda. So it's been a privilege serving God's people, and it's a privilege for me to be here today again to talk about the Uganda we want, the Uganda I want, the Uganda I envisage. So you are so very much welcome.
Well, in this episode, Apostle will finish up what he had started on in the last episode, the commercialization of politics, which actually leads us to the lifestyle right now of Ugandans and that is the corruption lifestyle. It has become our thing. Chifuse chintu chaffe. Nga Uganda, we lose a lot of money in corruption. We are led by corrupt people. We live with corrupt people. We are corrupt. In fact, in the program I do, Agenda ku Uganda 2031, I always tell people, corruption is not just a crime. Siku ama sichinto obo yononye bono nyabula obo ovunze. I say obo buvundu. So katuvunze, we need to do something. Apostle is going to help us, tell us how can we get out of the buvundu that we are in. Secondly, we talk about when you look at him, he must be thinking about succession. We are going to talk about that for our nation well, in a broader sense, succession and transition. But Apostle, you started off talking about the commercialization of our politics. There is a research that was done about how much our politicians spend in an election, and they were saying a candidate can spend close to 1 billion just contesting to be a member of parliament.
1B.
1B. The one that who can spend less is around 700
million,
800
million.
million.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In our last episode, when I was hosted here, we talked about several things, but the emphasis and the gist of what we're talking about was the electoral process as I saw it. And so we spoke about various things because I was speaking from a position of an observer, electoral observer. And so that gave me leverage and it gave me a place. It gave me a stand to see what we had never thought about. Yes, and that notwithstanding, we continue to vote. You remember in our last episode, we mentioned something called the voter fatigue.
Tulibako
Omuntu aganondera ki nebinavamu si byebyo. My vote will not be respected. My vote will be abused. I am being used. I'm being used. Therefore, someone begins to get a mental fatigue, which also leads to that exhaustion, the mental exhaustion, whereby when someone hears the voter fatigue leads to mental exhaustion. Yeah, you feel like you're mentally exhausted. You don't want to talk about anything. And when you see a banner, when you see a flyer, when you see an advert about voting, you feel disgusted. You know, there is exhaustion. You feel like you're mentally exhausted. You are drained. You've been voting, and it's a hassle to clean the voter register. It's a hassle to get a voter ID. It's a hassle to get. Most people don't know even how to use the computer to access, to know if they're on the voter register. You know, because there is a QR code that you could scan. But how many people have got such phones and the ability to appreciate technology? You know, so we talked about the absence of voter education and civic education as one of the things that has led to where we are, the aftermath of the elections 2026. So that has come as a result of the absence of. So now the last component was the commercialization of the electoral process, you know, that someone uses 1 billion, 1B, you know. Now, how are you going to recover that money when you are voted into office? And now that is the starting point for the corruption. You need to work around the clock by whichever way, by good or crook, you must recover that money. That's the investment. You know, your working capital is 1 billion that you put into where you are. Whereas in America, people are not voted to earn, people are voted to serve. In Uganda, people are voted to work, not to serve, because two are different. You know, if you're voted to serve, you don't care about. Mr. Sivambi, Councillor Sivambi, told us the other day, and he said, I don't even know where my salary has been put for a member of parliament because I don't touch it. I'm sponsoring children. I'm sending them to university. I'm working on the road. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. So I'm not looking for a job in parliament. And this is what the people in Maokota, I think South. Have missed, because I've not been there to work. I've been there to serve, you know. And because you are serving, your heart is about service. Your heart is about that poor old woman, that widow that has 5 children, whose husband died, and they have no sustenance. You know, that is service unto that poor old woman. She'll never forget you. But work is, who cares? I even have my mother. Who cares? Is she my mother? Who cares? You buy a vehicle of 315 million and you take it boldly. You take a loan, because the day the members of parliament are sworn in, they change status. They qualify for any loan facility at any amount, because the parliament is the guarantor. The speaker is the guarantor. There is such a surety that cannot be doubted. Any bank, you know. I have a friend of mine that we helped to get into parliament, and then I saw on the day they were swearing in, I looked and I'm like, oh my God, every bank is approaching me. I was managing him. Every bank, they're giving me literature. Every bank is telling me their products. I'm like, oh my God, everybody's telling me. So now this person is tempted to take that credit facility that is extended to him. And he ceases to work for the people. He's now looking at it as a job. He'll come, put his jacket in the chambers, he'll put his jacket in parliament, and then he'll go in the canteen. When something touchy, which he wants to be part of, he will come. They don't sit in parliament. He will come only when he thinks he must cause trouble, or he must oppose, or he must endorse, or he must vote, you know. But otherwise, he does not sit in the plenary. He does not sit to follow all these readings and whatever is happening in parliament. You know, it is not service, it's work. I am here. I know why I am here, to vote as a majority, and then my account will be credited, you know. And so the commercialization is not about to stop. Actually, it's about to increase. If someone spent 700 million to get where he is, how do you expect him the first 2 years? You know, he's revamping himself. My president, Donald Trump, from the other side of the globe, he came the first time, and then he said, you all know that I have my money. I've been working since I was a teenager. I'm not here to look for a job. I'm here to serve the people of America, to bring the reforms that are necessary, the reforms that have been seen they were lacking.
I want to make America great again.
And then people never thought he was serious. And then he did what he did first time, he came back. Now the tariffs, every nation on the face of the earth is feeling the pinch of the tariffs, from Canada to Alaska to Greenland to all the places. Everybody's feeling
because they were enjoying America.
Yeah.
And for him, it was what he was like, no, we can't allow this to go
on. We can't allow this to go on.
Most
people don't know even why Venezuela was attacked. People think Donald Trump is the main president. Yeah, it's beyond oil. It's beyond oil. You know, it's beyond oil. That canal, which was built several years ago by America, it was built, is it Panama Canal? It was built with an intention of easing trade, not only oil, but trade, you know, Venezuela, America, and the world. And Venezuela, using Russia and Cuba and China, they began to misuse the canal. So now America is saying you cannot benefit while we sit here and we have no benefit. We never built it just for you to enjoy and make profits and dime out of it. We are coming for you. Maduro, His Excellency Maduro, never thought they were serious. So they come, pick him, and the First Lady. The rest is history. Now, this is what it means. If we come in these elective positions with an intention of working for the people that are brought us in these places, then we shall minimize on the commercialization of the politics, not only election, but the politics. Today, someone say, I spend my money to be here. I need to recover my money. I must recover my money. And you will not tell him lose the money for the sake of Uganda. Uganda siya jizara, Uganda tebajiria, you know, obuntu bulam tebabulia. So they say in town, in the upscale town, they say, you cannot be polite and you feed on being polite. You have to hustle. You have to do whatever it happens. You know, that is why someone will serve one term and they don't return. Someone will be in parliament 15 years. Those are 3 terms of operation, and they don't think about going. Now, they will turn and say, no. When a leader overstays in power, when is overstay? When is overstay? Because if overstay is only for a particular preserve office, then we need to revisit the word. Maybe we missed something. If you're a member of parliament, you've been in parliament 3 terms in office, and you're talking about overstaying, you are talking about succession, you're talking about we are tired of this, we are tired of that officer, then show us by example. Leading wish, after 2 terms, leading wish.
You say, I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming. People, you loved me, I've worked for you, you have loved me, we have walked the journey, I want to thank you, but now I'm not returning.
Actually, endorse. Like
endorse.
You in the church, you normally do that and say, okay, I am retiring, I'm anointing my son or someone I've groomed.
We do it.
Let him take over the ministry.
We do it. Endorse. Show us someone. But because we don't have a peaceful transitional mechanism and process in Uganda, you think you shall not be man enough if you relinquish. But how about if the voters don't vote you in again? After the 3rd time, you shall be more embarrassed than if you relinquished.
Exactly. We witnessed that.
We did. In various places.
We call them the parliamentary giants.
Yeah, in various places.
In various places.
Unexpectable. Unexpectable.
Yes. Okay, Apostle, now, away from the commercialization of politics, and you said we are going to overcome that through accountability.
Yes.
And I see that is coming also to meet the voter.
Yes.
You see some voters are very funny in Uganda, Apostle, in case maybe you spend some time outside in another country. Here, let me tell you, voters themselves, they come and ask, Apostle, you've come to be the MP, please give me some, so give me my kitu kidogo, gogende, nzempewe kange, nzempa na kange ngende.
Nechende tachisinga omunye wengendo kuwa, nesigara.
Nzempa simanyi binaddako.
Simanyi.
Simanyi binaddako. You give me mine. So that's where we are as a country. I think when you get time to talk, I went to the Apostle Mulinda, hosted
John
me.
Mulinda?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he invited me to his home and we had a talk, and he said because that day Simbi onaga abalonzi chebankola Umar Mulinde abalonzi chebankola kasanda wano
bululu mwenda mu kabox.
Okay, Apostle, how can we have a corrupt-free Uganda? Corruption has become a lifestyle. The former IGG, she told us that we are losing close to 10 trillion. Imagine. 10. Over 10 trillion to corruption.
Terrible. Yeah, how can we overcome? The Uganda I want to see is a Uganda where from this person who is a wheelbarrow pusher, omusindisi w'ekigaali, to a vendor or mutembeyi. We don't encourage that, because it does not begin with this person here in that office who has the pen. It does not begin in that office there where the letter is going to emanate. It begins from here, the one who wants a service. Someone will say, I don't want to stay in the queue. Therefore, I'm going to talk to the askari who is manning this line. I'm going to give him 10,000.
Pisao.
Yeah, Pisao. Nina jendaga. And then the askari will cause a situation. Muveo. He'll begin to shove people, to push people. And then he says, and then because this man has gotten 10,000 shillings, he'll begin to make a thing that you cannot understand. And before you know, in 20 minutes, a thing that will take 1 hour will take you 20. So if we can, because change must begin with me. Transformation must begin with me.
And we are right at a place of transformation.
Yeah, a place for total transformation.
For total transformation.
You're in the right place. Transformation must begin with me. And this means if we can purpose to say, but what kind of seeds are we sowing for our children? What kind of legacy are we leaving for our children? What kind of modeling are we showing to our children? What is this that we are doing? My father, who went to be with the Lord at 100 years and 6 months, he would tell us continually and say, obuntu bulamu businga obuzira. When he came to Buganda from our place in Western Uganda, and he came to Buganda several years ago, and then he settled and blended into the Buganda system, he began to co-opt, the Buganda culture. Eyobuntu bulamu. You'd find this man and you think he's one of the Bataka Buganda. And yet this was a typical Mchiga that came here for whatever reason. Now, and he will tell us, Owesigwa busingo obuzira. Now, Mlanzi, you cannot look at a seemingly opportunity. And you know how you can have your way around it. Today, if you're not sane, but for you, of course, I know you're conscious and I understand. But today, nobody will leave an option and the purpose to go for something else. Someone would rather take the quickest route to lead them there to get what they want to get, as opposed to respecting the process. What can we do to get rid of corruption? Let it start with me, that when I go to the passport office, I know my rights, I know I'm clean, I have the documentation, I have the paperwork, I have the everything. Let me respect the process. Why must I corrupt that man that is standing at the gate by giving him 20,000 shillings to allow me access? I will enter no matter what. If I don't enter today, it's because I came late. Tomorrow, I shall come as early as it can get. I'll be among the first 10 people. I'll enter, produce my stuff, talk about myself, show them what I have, and then I'll go. Why, if I'm stopped by a traffic officer on the road, the first thing I'm thinking about is to give him money? Why are you giving him money? You are stopped, your vehicle is in good condition, it has tires, it's in a running good mechanical condition, it has the third party or the comprehensive insurance, whatever it has, you are good. You have your driver's license. Why are you are stopped? It's for a routine check. Listen to this man or woman. Why has he stopped you? Pay attention. Don't do the first thing to think about and say maybe he wants money. What is it for? He gets a pay. He's on the payroll. Our taxes, sustain them. Don't give him that. You are corrupting him. You are bribing him. You are actually manipulating his understanding. Yes, and the man will take it because his scale, his pay, warrants him to receive anything he can receive. If he says you've been overspeeding, explain what is the circumstance. Let him show you the law. The speed limit that is posted. Most signposts in Uganda, you find they are covered by posters, either political or advertisement, or someone is talking, I'm a witch doctor, that is the number, I can enlarge this, I can enlarge that, call my number, and then this is a road signage. And there is no law probably to apprehend because the telephone numbers are listed. Call this number like you are a client. This guy is like a client. Let us have a people that make follow up on the signage on the roads, Get to this man in Kawempe, find him, and say, I'm a patient. Arrest him. Is this your number? Indeed, it is my number. I'm a witch doctor. I was, do you advertise on the signage on the road? This is criminal. It's a trespass, But now, because...
we let them be.
But now because it is as it is, someone will say, do you know the speed limit in this place? You don't know because the signage is covered. Yeah, there is a poster, there is a this, there is a banner, there is 10 flyers patched, and by the time they remove them, it has lost the description. You cannot read. 20 looks like 8. You cannot understand because they've been putting on that very same road signage for all the time. Now it has lost its intention. Yes.
You know very well the impact of compromise. One thing I've seen, especially on this, is now top. Because the tops, they normally eat too much.
They do.
They
do.
Walaba mabati sikando.
Yeah, their cut is amazing.
From that case, or scenario, I see compromise. Wayogedde wano ku mukulembeze mu episode esooka ye yagamba nali mmanyi gwe mpeerako obujulizi munnange mulamu bulungi naye kye yakola nedda nnyina ku resigninga abaffe tebalisigninga nakati bakyali mu office
ayongera kunywera Kubanga, the godfather who put him there, says, don't worry, it will come at my desk. You are safe. And the godfather benefits from this beneficially. It's a cycle because it's a system. It's entrenched in our system. Bwembankulese nenkusimba nina kati yange every month or periodically ngabo tuba tukkirizganyiza. When you default, oba ogenze. When I put in that office, you're in charge of that, transport and fuel allocation. I have my card. I don't need to be there at the petrol station to know the cars that went to the field. I sit here, my money will just drop in my phone. You know, this will be the role of every citizen to fight it. From us, it begins with us. Why did you give that traffic officer money? What is it for? Maybe I've never shared a scenario with you in our the set scenario. My vehicle, I was getting off the Northern Bypass behind Christian Life Church of Jackson Senyonga. That customary thing to join on Sa Apollo Kagwa. Those of you that are in Uganda, that is a very common road in Uganda. And then all of a sudden, I saw the temperature readings. They were coming, so it was actually in H, meaning it was about to explode.
Yes.
So I cut off the engine, I get out of the car. I did not know, because I was almost alone in that intersection. I did not know the president was going to pass, but on top of the Northern Bypass, not in that joining thing. So all of a sudden I saw policemen came running from that roundabout, the wise roundabout, where they usually are military vehicles. They come, and then almost with the guns drawn, with one armed, two are not armed. We are arresting you. I said, gentlemen, first listen to why I put on the hazards, the double indicators in the road. You know, I'm a senior citizen, I'm decent, you know. Give me the permit. I said, I cannot even give you the permit because you are threatening me. First inquire the circumstance. I'm not mad. How can I park in the road and I open the bonnet of the vehicle? You know, first ask the circumstance. You say, no, the president is passing. I say, I don't know, but this would be a risk. Even where I would drive is a risk. The vehicle has all of a sudden heated up. I don't know the reason why. Why do you drive the car without the water? I say, excuse me, are you a mechanic? So anyway, we had an exchange.
Yeah.
And when we had an exchange, I say, I could not drive it. I had called the mechanics. My mechanic was around at Total, Sir Apollo Kagwa, and then he responded. He's coming on foot, not even on foot, with a toolbox to find out what was happening, you know, so that we are evacuated, so that the president passes on the other side of the road. He said, you are arrested. I say, no, I am not. I'm not resisting lawful arrest, but I'm not arrested. Why would you arrest me? This is a mechanic. He came when you're here. And anyhow, long story short, the mechanic, I left him with the car. I say, I'm not giving you my permit. I want to see your I want to see the in charge because I cannot talk to you. You have intimidated me. So there are two ladies, with the one with the gun, they lead me. We are moving. I said, don't touch me. I am not crippled. I walk. So we walked to the roundabout where they were like a contingent, you know, 50 plus, you know. And then so they take me to the commander, and then he looks at me. He say, what's happening? The lady saluted, and then she began to say, you parked there. But the man was in clear view of the car, you know. And this is not a car that you would think it would break just like that. It had to be mechanical.
Yeah.
So the man say, gentleman, identify yourself. So now to that one, I identified myself. I gave him my driver's license and another document. He looked at it, he said, oh yeah. So I said, okay, go and work. He did not want to humiliate them to explain the circumstances. He said, okay, that's all right. They saluted and left us. He said, forgive us. This is what happens. You know, people don't appreciate the law. Now, if you gave them money or if you did anything, that's when I knew they know that they're being given money. This is a senior man commanding that entire place. He said, where's the car? I said, the car driver, the mechanic maneuvered. I know where to find him. Do you need the transportation? I said, no, I walk to Total. He said, no problem. Give me 5 minutes. To like show them he's working on something, and then he gave me my driver's license and another card. He said, no problem. You have no case to answer. You have no power. This is a machine. So I went, picked my car and went. Now, if I was quick, I had money on me. If they came with a gun, with a tool, I would get out 50,000 maybe, or whichever I would deem fit, and then say, sorry, but they are going to remove the car. Can you give me the towing vehicle? But I knew I was right, and I could not bribe them. I could not find my way through giving them money. I rather go to the supervisor and talk to the supervisor.
It starts with me.
It starts with me. Change starts with us. The change, the Uganda we want to see, is where you know your rights, but we don't have the civic education. Some of you don't even know that you can talk to a police officer and you say, I will not say nothing, take me to the police. But you think when you get there, they will beat you.
I'm getting in the
Of course
cell.
they could beat you if you're not very careful. You know, they will rough you up, they manhandle you, they will embarrass you before people, before your children. You know, they could embarrass you.
Yeah, reason being, I don't know my rights. If I did, that can't happen.
It
like
cannot.
You were in that
I refuse to
story.
give these two people my credentials,
Yeah.
as I need your supervisor. In Uganda, the supervisor would be the commandant. So they took me to a man, you know, he's peeped, he's such a senior person, very intelligent. You could see that this a graduate understanding and his position there for proper judgment. I explained in clear words. He looked at me, clear words, and then he told me, and then he sent them away.
Yeah.
He let me go.
Yeah, Apostle, the corruption you're talking about that starts with me, it has also led to the debt burden of this country.
True.
The money that we borrow, whether domestically or externally, is being eaten up by people. It doesn't do what is intended to do when we borrow it.
You're right.
We are close to 100 trillion.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's even beyond our budget.
That's ridiculous.
The debt is beyond our budget.
Can you imagine? So now, which means we'll service it for longer than we can expect, meaning it is accrued, it will continue to grow every single financial year. Because if it is beyond our budget,
I always tell people, Apostle, you normally go through the Entebbe International Airport.
Yes.
But let me tell you something. I met someone very credible. He gave me the right information and he said, we have a loan for the Entebbe International Airport and we are paying it for 20 years. You are as you enjoy moving out, you are paying.
I thought it was a World Bank thing and it was soft. 20 years.
Yeah. We are servicing. And in the 20 years, we are not paying the principal. We are paying the interest. Then after, we'll get more 5 years to pay the principal.
25 years. Ridiculous. 100 trillion, 100 million, 100 trillion. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, Apostle, let's talk about the succession. I can't live here without talking about this. Uganda is at that crossroad.
Yes.
Of succession and transition. You say that these two
are
different.
Yeah.
Show us the difference.
Succession is, I am a father. I got children. A father of 3.
Yeah.
And succession is when I look at my 3 children, 2 daughters, 1 boy, 1 son, and I say, among the 3, I think this one is credible, that if I am out of this life, he can sustain and maintain the legacy of the family, the Tumwine'S legacy, because I have property, I have lands, I have etc. by God's grace. Now I say, now you, child number 2, child number 3, you are my heir. You shall succeed and take on the estate, take on the stuff that we've been doing, because my children know what we're doing, because it's for them in any case. Therefore, now that is succession. You shall succeed. Whereas transition may even go beyond my child. This is a ministry set by God, appointed by God, New Life Harvest Church. I cannot find any reason to say that it is necessarily my son or my daughter that should be after me. Now, with transition, it is about ability, it is about capacity, and it is about sanity. You know, I can say, Molanzi, in the writings and in everything, this ministry, New Life Harvest Church, you have proven yourself. You join me when you have out of university, you have served me, these are 20 years, you've proven your character, just in case I'm not here, that ministry will make a transition from Charles Tumwine to Mulanzi. He's not my biological child, he's not my biological, I never knew him when he was growing up, but we are transitioning the ministry to Mulanzi, from Tumwine to Mulanzi, transitioning, seamless. Nobody will even say, but why? He was not born in the Tumwine family. Whereas succession, you have to be a blood person. You know, you must be connected to me in order to succeed me. A stranger cannot succeed a person.
Okay.
Noleta omulalo, noleta omusirikale bano betubeera nabawaka noga nti ye musika wange bajja kumanya nti waliwo ekikyamu ku mutwe oba olina ensonga naye enneekusifu in most cases tekiri nayo gye tutamanyi naye ng'ate transitioning omusirikale bw'alwa nange asobola okutaking over enkola y'ebintu nti faamu y'egindi asobola ogirwaninga mbadde nga ngenda naye agimanyi amanyi bwe tukola ebintu atunula yeekakasizza and therefore he can take very good care.
Point eno gye tuliko Apostle nkulu kyova olaba njiziza mu Luganda kati tuyambe onsiiku Uganda yeetaaga ki? Yeetaaga transition oba yeetaaga
Uganda yeetaaga transition. Ate kyatandikira mu kkanisa ffe bannaddiini ffe twaleeta ebintu bino ebyokwogera ku succession you know byatandikira mu kkanisa ffe bannaddiini ne tubipika you know. Omuntu bw'otolaga musikawe oba togize omuntu atalina musikawe oba toli successful omuntu atalina musikawe oba tolina gwona tunuli ebyawandiikibwa. Yoswa mutabani wa Nun okubeera nti Adamu that was not busika nti Yoswa omusika wa Musa. No, Yoswa transitional leader. You know, Musa si yali azaala Yoswa yalina taata nga bamuyita Nun. Musa teyali musajja mugumba. Musa yazaala Musa yazaala naye teyasobola kugamba nti assignment eno ey'omulimu guno ngenda gikwasa abaana bange kubanga singa yali mugomba ogamba nti kale naye he had children lwaki teyakwata mutabani we n'amusikiza naye yatunula n'agamba nti bino ebintu by'obwakabaka bwa Katonda tebyetaaga mu succession byetaaga transition. Yoswa n'amusaka
Apostle nywezaako tugamba for God and my country so oli muga nti ebintu bya Katonda tebyetaaga succession byetaaga transition. Ebintu bya government n'obukulembeze nga tunaafuna emirembe n'akalembereza tuteekwa okubijjamu ekigambo kye bayita succession kubanga buli lw'oyogera succession omukulembeze katugambe ali mu buyinza president aba atunulira abaana baazadde nti omwana wange jajja okunsikira mu bukulembeze bw'eggwanga. It cannot work like that. Omwana wa bwe tugamba nti bannange nga bannaddiini bannange tulaga omusika muzeeyi atandise okukadiwa muzeeyi akuze muzeeyi atulaga omusika bwana abalaga mutowe bwana abalaga muganda we bwana abalaga mukoddomi we awasaba walawe bwana abalaga mutabani we you know mwe mumusabye muge twagala musika. Olulimi lwe tulina okwogera lulina okubeera nga lugamba transition twagala enkyusa y'obuyinza ey'ekisajja kikulu eterimu kuyiwa musaayi okuva mu bukulembeze obumu okudda mu bulala oba kuyita mu kalulu oba kuyita mu dialogue oba kuyita mu elders forum oba kuyita mu arbitration oba kuyita mu ngeri endala yonna. Singa omugenzi Obote yali wano yandibadde nti Akena twala kwatamu naye Akena yajja by merit najja ku lulwe namusinkana Zambia mu 94 nga Rastafari enviiri zigwa kuno ku bibegabega Akena oyo
zootalabanga bukyobaawo tugamba zino eza Buchaman Akena yina dreads baba. Yes, namusanga I visited Obote family in Lusaka before Muzeeyi Obote could die ne mama Miria ne mbasinkana anti bwe nagenda yo ne baga nti actually your president is here naye nali nkimanyi kati gwe nali mbeera naye nga lawyer si lawyer we naye naga I can actually make an appointment I take you ne muga I would love you know nantwala ne twetala ne banfumbira you know their traditional food
1994
ejaba Uganda Airlines paka Lusaka ata pana buli kintu kyonna kawunga bamia buli kintu nga bakine Zambia tebali mmere yeri you know omwana n'avaayo naye nga tolaba na suubi dread zigwa kuno. Anyway, fast forward bwe yakomawo yazisala atuuse wano ng'ayagala okuyingira mu elective politics ng'alaba it will not sell. Singa omugenzi Obote yaliwo yandibadde aga nti if it is succession Akena fits. Abantu abasinga tebamanyi nti n'Obote alina abaana abalala abalinzi.
Apostle tuleme kuyita bbali obuzibu bwe buli buno nti bw'ogamba kati Godfather wa Uganda jjajja wa Uganda nti ani agenda
tulage omusika
tulage agenda okuddira mu bigere
tajja kulaga Tumwine ajja kulaga Musaayi tajja kulaga Kiberu ajja kulaga Musaayi ago ge mazima ekkanisa n'ensi gyeyagala gyerina okuwulira without any prejudice kubanga twogera we are coming from a good place emitima gyaffe mirungi ffe tetuli ba politician tetulina lutalo na muntu yenna naye ago ge mazima ge tulina okwogera bwe tubanga tunaafuna Uganda gye twagala twogere transition so si inherit succession kubanga kati bw'ogamba nti tulage ajja kulaga ne bw'ogamba nti bane transition tukola tutya nti kakati tugenda kuddayo mu system efaanana bweti tugenda kuddayo kule bifaanana bweti Uganda ekyalimu abantu abalala abasobola okukulembera eggwanga lino
singa tugende ku transition apostle let's go on transition now on transition so far we have two clear ways that are being suggested one there is the Mau way
which is
Mau way says let's go let's talk to the God Father wabeerewo peaceful transition and let's work with him if you want to attain
political parties zonna bannayuganda bonna tusupporting ekyo akkiriza agekisoboka naye kyayagala tukwate kubeeri eryo limu
tukole naye kati ate waliwo nsibambi professor we yeegamba tetwegatta kukola naye wabula tuwogerezeganye naye eyo yerimu ne Dr. Bedi Bwanika ne Mwami Mpuuga boga tuwogerezeganye naye bane bannabyafuzi abalala bonna tuwogerezeganye naye eyamma yerimu okukola naye toyogera bwogezi
enega tetukola naye
tuwogerezeganye naye
and there could be of course there is another way bagimutinga naye nga tebadda mu kujogerako eyoga nti tulonde ba member of parliament bajje mu parliament bwe banatuuka mu parliament nga be balonda president gwe omuntu owa wansi nga tokyalina buyinza
ani yali agireese
waliwo omwami yagireeta
ono oba teyakomyewo alabika
yagikuba ku floor naganze kyendowooza kati tubeere ne electoral college tubeere ne gundi naye ekintu kyaleeta ate kyabunaayira wano tetukisobola kubanga tibokyati kati nkulaga nti bw'okireeta wano mu Uganda the majority is the ruling party is the NRM bw'oga ntulonde ku nsonga eri touch bwetyo era omanyi akalulu kajja okufaanana ojjukira wali kutogikwatako gikwateko tosobola kuwangula muntu alina majority ng'alina numbers era bwe kiba nti ba members of parliament be balonda kati buli muntu aba agumya munne nti it will continue as it has been status quo will be maintained by all means kubanga be balonda bisalibwawo mu Central Executive Committee SEC kati ne bajja mu parliament ne speaker alondibwa speaker wa party deputy wa party akalulu bamuwanika emikono ne babala just dakika ttaano nga giri overwhelming enyondo ng'evuga you see kakati ekyo nalyo kkubo weeriri era lyaliwo naye nze if you asked me which way
we wanted to Tumwine way
now singa neyange ndigattako I would say let us find a way of working with the people that are already there. The Mau way. I would take the Mau way.
You go the Mau way.
Yeah.
Tukole nabo.
Tukole nabo. Antukubaga kati.
Lakini tusigamu impisa za.
And that system where entrenched. Mula system where entrenched. Bogama tukola nabo. Ogenda kola nabani. Bogama tujene breed empia. There will be sabotage. Bogama tuleta Uganda empia tuleta ekintu ekirala. Tojja kukiyisaawo. Bogama because the system is kino kigumu nnyo. We are dealing with a system, not a person. Nakyogera 4 years ago nti ne President Museveni bwagamba nti mbivuddemu kantuule nzire ebbali ne ba minister cabinet ye yonna negamba mbivuddemu katudde ebbali. Still we may have a problem because it is a system. Uganda is confronted with a system from top to bottom. Abaana bamanyi how to smuggle in a paper on the order paper. Abana bamanyi how to smuggle in this, bamanyi how to smuggle in that. Abana bamanyi how to manipulate the systems of URA. It is a system. Eje emisolo gy'olaba. Most people don't pay it as due. Mu bunene bwagyo, nobody would survive. Teri musuubuzi yandibaddewo. Ensasula y'emisolo singa okola ne ba taxmen, ne bano ba clearing agents, oyinza okwewuunya. Nti eyo container y'endabirwamu mwagikiriyalinze mwagivaluinzemu sente mmeka oyinza okutya nti ezo tiles you know, container 40 feet.
Tonnayogera ku mmotoka.
Tonnayogera, singa omubuuza nti container 40 feet ya tiles, okuva Turkey, mwagibaze mutya. Emmotoka, emyaka mugikyusa mutya, nesasula ng'eya 2005, nenga ya 2013, mukikola mutya. You know, logbook muzikola mutya okusasula omusolo oguli less, nenga emmotoka mpya, ne batagimanya. System. Therefore, working with them here referring to the people that are in power today, is the most clear way. Very amazing. Yeah, you case to enhance transition. Otherwise, you cannot. Because
if we don't work with them, I'm trying to read your mind. We are likely to have succession at play. If we don't work with them.
If anti omuntu atunanaga nti muganyi, you're not coming, n'abaze mu State House okwogera nange, you are demonizing them, balinga aboogedde ne Satan, you are victimizing them. Okay, now I'll show you the hair. Naye abakwatemu 10 oba 15. I'll show you the hair. And everybody will, either you resist and then you face the consequences. It has repercussions. Or you yield and then now you're working with them by default. Tosobola. Now we don't want. What don't you want? Let us propose. Let us reason ng'abantu abakulu tujjeyo cultural institutions kati ng'abatakanga Katikkiro wa Buganda and other cultural leaders boogerere mu nsonga eno nga tewali bias. We have not said tuleete Omuganda, but we are saying we are talking transition. Tribal sentiments ne tuzisse ebbali. Tine Katikkiro wa Buganda musajja Muganda Charles Maiga n'abeera nga tayogera ku frontinga Muganda. It could be Anacholi, it could be Alangi, it could be Amadi oba Omugiso oba Alugbara. We should not front the tribal sentiments. Zijja tuleetera obuzibu. Tugende mu kitta abantu ekya Rwanda, Abatusi versus Abahutu. 1 million people in less than 6 months, 1994. You know, tujjewo tribal talk, tujjewo tribal rhetoric, you know. Wawulira mu bululu obwaggwa bwe tunawangula muddeyo kati ng'abantu baga nti naye bwe tuba tuddayo nga bano baddayo naye omukyala afumbe wo waggwanga li abana abaddayo anaddawa anaasigala otwale baana bo oba naye agenda ate n'owagundi ne gundi mubadde temumanyi actually naye weegindi naye aba agenda actually kubanga tewali nnyumba wano mu Uganda eterimu Munyarwanda.
Apostle gw'okyogedde ekyo
nanti nze nkubuulira
producer okawuliddako
tewali nnyumba yonna bw'ataba maid musirikale bw'aba musirikale akuuma ebweru bw'aba takuuma bweru mistress alina waali mu ngeri mwene bw'aba talina waali alina waali bw'aba talina waali alina waali. Therefore when we go tribal
tegeza terina kanisa mu Uganda nga teri Munyarwanda ate
omujjawo abasirikale abakuumi wange wano Banyarwanda kakati onokola oti era nze soogera kintu kirala kyonna
kasogama Munyarwanda ng'okoma
batudde mwewali kakati Abanyankole bayitire batudde kakati nosirika nobanga tribal togifrontinga. If we don't work with them, the option is succession talk, and succession talk everybody knows what that means.
Apostle nkusibudde
nze nga bwe ndaba
nkusibudde abatulaba etwogedde ku transition ne ku succession katusibule
tusibudde until another time mweraba
bye bye
bye.